Okay. I think we're live.
Hello, hello.
Oh my goodness. Care, I'm happy that you're here.
Mm.
Everyone who is tuning in live right now, or if you're watching the replay, this is my friend Care, and she
Hello.
T-shirt sucks. Gibson, he's wearing a true classic tee. It fits
Yep.
him tight in all the right
Weird
places.
ad that always happens, and I always forget. But this is my friend Care, and she's freaking amazing. And I'm so happy you could be here today because, well, for one, as the title states, like all about radical self-acceptance. Like, can we look at Care right now at her head? The other day, just a video on Instagram pops up. Care used to have dark hair, went down to here, and then all of a sudden it was gone. She shaved it. So,
Yeah.
like, how did that come about even? Like, let's start there.
Okay, we're starting with that. Yeah, I have been thinking about it for a while, and I've actually done this before, and it was when I was with my ex-partner, ex-husband. And so the last time I had shaved it, so many things have happened since I got divorced. I basically set really strong boundaries with my family because they were not treating me well. I found a home in Los Angeles. I also moved, and it just felt, spirit was like, you got to get rid of something, like something needs to go. And what came up was my hair. So I sat with that. It's been a month since I first got the idea, and I actually did it. And it just perfectly aligned with the Lunar New Year. So I shaved it the day before, and I actually brought some with me to a Buddhist temple that I went to the next day to honor the Chinese New Year. And I offered some of my hair there, and I'm burning the rest. I'm bringing some back with me when I go to Taiwan to visit family. And it's just such a liberating experience. It really is. And every time I do it, I get this comment like, oh, like Britney Spears. And I'm like, no, not like Britney. And I feel like there's such a stigma around, well, first of all, lots of love to Britney because she's been through a lot. She has been through a lot. And I feel that there's so much judgment, and there's so much like criticism around making big, bold decisions like that. And on the other side, it's like, yeah, I'm going to do it because it's for me. I don't care what other people think. I don't care that people see it this way, that they think it's like, oh, I have to be going through something really traumatic or really chaotic, really intense to want to shave my head.
I feel like it's such a sign of like honestly radical self-acceptance for a woman just to like bam, because it's like a safety net for a lot of people. We can kind of hide behind it. And
yeah, and it is part of our personality. It's part of how we show up in the world. And I definitely had that before. I used to cry in the chair if only like, let me start over words.
I feel you.
I get so excited. I'm like, what's what I'm supposed to say? I don't know. But when I was little and I would get my hair cut, and they would only cut maybe like 1 or 2 inches. And I had really long hair. It was probably up to like my mid back, and they would cut 1 or 2 inches just to get the dead hair off. And I would cry. I would throw a fit. I remember like punching my dad because I was so upset. I would not get out of the chair. I was like literally having a temper tantrum in the salon. And then now it's like, boom, I'm just going to shave it off.
Take it
Here
off.
we go.
So it's almost like, it sounds like, especially for you and your experience, it's almost like a manifestation hack. Like, let's release all this energy, and then a bunch of stuff tends to flow in for you.
I love how you're giving that perspective to it. Yes, it definitely is a manifestation hack. One of the things that we do in manifestation is burning rituals, like releasing whatever no longer serves us. And yes, I am burning my hair. So it's like definitely supporting me in releasing all of this old energy that no longer serves. And also my hair is going to be so thick and so beautiful. Like all those serums that you put on your hair for hair growth, it's like Shaving it is a whole new level of that because it just gets rid of all that dead energy and gives you the space to start new.
Yeah. Another one that might not be as extreme, but a good like release manifestation hack that I've never done. But Master Sri Akarshana is actually, for those of you who know him, he's the one who shared this that he does every year. He goes through his phone and deletes all of his photos and videos every single year, where most people want to hold on to them because they don't want to lose the memories. They want to be able to go back. He completely clears out his entire phone every year and lets that be an energy release. That's probably just as scary for some people to shave their head or to let go of all of their digital memories, you know?
Yeah. Imagine if you deleted all your YouTube videos every year.
Oh my gosh. Oh, but that's like those things, they seem extreme and maybe it's not for everyone, but as many do experience when you do let go and surrender things, especially the things that you're like, no, like sometimes magic happens when you are willing to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But also, before we get too deep into it, speaking of radical self-acceptance, there's something special coming up that you have to share with them, right?
Yes. So on Monday, this coming Monday, for 5 days, I'm going to be hosting a free radical self-acceptance challenge. And this is going to be 5 juicy days of 1 hour at 11, 1 hour at 4. And this is Pacific Standard Time. So 11 Pacific, 4 p.m. Pacific. Every day you'll get 2 hours of this.
Woo!
And what you're going to be experiencing is the medicine of radical self-acceptance. And I am a trauma-informed somatic coach. I've also studied yoga. I've studied ancestral healing, womb healing, quantum healing, inner child work. What else? Also studied energy modalities. I've studied under Alana Fairchild and some of her trainings that she's offered. So I have a really wide range of practices. And this is a really holistic approach where I tackle this medicine of radical self-acceptance through the mind, the body, and the spirit. So every day we're going to go layer by layer by layer deeper into what it means to embody self-acceptance. And it is going to be such a powerful experience. And in the afternoon, so that's the morning, you're going to receive that transmission with the embodied experience. And then you're going into receiving those codes through guest speakers who have worked with the medicine of self-acceptance. And there's going to be a total of 10 guest speakers through these 5 days. And then there's going to be 2 integration days on Saturday at 9 a.m. Pacific. And on Sunday, I have invited my spiritual therapist. This is what I call her. She has beautifully offered to record a transmission on self-acceptance and has agreed to help me close the container with some very powerful light language.
Ooh.
So there's going to be some spiritual transmissions there of closing the container and making sure that your auric field and the auric field of the entire container is completely closed and sealed so that you can integrate this medicine.
Yay. And I'm going to be a speaker.
Yes, and Annie's a speaker. So that's why we're here today, because we're trying to get those people in and really receive those codes and experience some of Annie's magic of radical self-acceptance.
And all of Care's magic of radical self-acceptance. And I'm speaking day 1. So sign up now and it's free. And I linked it down below. So if you're watching right now, there are some integration days, which yes, lengthening the experience is amazing, but this is like a quick 5-day, but deep experience. And I can tell you by knowing Care, it's going to be good. Can I tell them about the story of us first meeting?
Yes.
Okay, so we're talking about radical self-acceptance. This girl is brave. Again, to you, maybe these things at this point in your life are more simple. Like you shave your head, you've done it before. Okay, cool, you're at that point. but just like how you hold yourself, and you don't hold yourself back, especially in front of new people, is so inspiring. Because the very first day I met Care in person, we'd known each other virtually for a little while because we're in the same program. And so we'd been on Zoom calls and stuff, but we actually got together for a retreat. And the day that we walk into the retreat, Care's like, I'm going to do some yoni sunning. Do you guys mind? And if you guys don't know what yoni is, it is, the female anatomy. So Care on her moon cycle, and for those of you who don't know what that means, because we have people of all degrees around here. Some are really in the spiritual world. Some people are like, what are those words? Basically means her period. It does mean her period. So she strips down on her moon cycle and, just lets sunlight in, just in front of this small, intimate group of women. And to many women, like, so many of us have so many insecurities around our body parts and our anatomy and like being seen, or shame around even having a period. And you're just like laying there doing your thing. And it's cool because it's a safe group, not a bunch of people who are going to be judgmental, but like, that's not something that I would be comfortable doing. And to see that, I was like, wow, that's freaking brave. I would be having a panic attack laying there. So just to witness that was really inspiring, to be honest.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah.
And
I mean, you so bravely just sat there and was like, just the fact that you were there open to receiving me being open is already a form of, shows me how accepting you are.
Yeah.
Right. Because most people will be like, that's fucking or sorry, I cursed.
Oh, no, you're good. You're good. You're good.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Like, I'm not even gonna go near that. But you were just like, oh, okay, like this is interesting.
Like, I was
you're like the direct line of sight too.
I'm just kind of speechless, but honestly in that state of I wish that I could be that free and open and accepting, because I would be like, oh my gosh, are they looking at me? Are they creeped out? Like, are they disturbed by this? Like the people pleaser tendencies, or like, are they going to reject me? Is this too much? Like, is this whatever, is this gross that I'm bleeding? Like, obviously, like I said, I wasn't thinking those things about you, but I was thinking what I would feel if I was in that position. And I would be having extreme anxiety. So again, just to see someone like you who can do that. And you shared about the festival you were at, the event you were at prior to that, and all the cool, like, adventurous things you're open to doing. And I'm like, man, I aspire to have that level of self-acceptance. I'm not there yet. So you are the master of this in this space right here, right now.
Thank you. I receive that with a lot of humility, as I am, just starting out on this path in comparison to a lot of my mentors who have been doing this work for decades. And so I'm really, really humbled to hear that, such a high compliment. So thank you, Annie. And I will say that even I had those moments, I had that feeling of like, oh my God, are they going to judge me? Blah, blah, blah. But I was like, you know what? I'm feeling like I want to do this, and I'm not going to let these voices, these thoughts get in my way of my authentic expression. Like, yes, my yoni is desiring the sun right now. And it was such a beautiful place to do it. Like, we were on a hill. There weren't really any other people. The sun was shining beautifully on the land, on the house. It was just so magical that I had to say yes, even though I could hear those thoughts that you expressed yourself. Like, I had them. It's not that I didn't have them. And I have been on this huge healing journey with my yoni, actually, and my sexuality. And so, maybe even 2 years ago, if you told me that I would be doing that, I'd be like, you're crazy. I don't think so. I don't think so.
For those who might be just like a side note, if you have one, for those of you who might be like, why was she sending her women parts? Like, what is that about? Like, is there a energetic or spiritual or health reason behind that someone would do that?
Yeah, I feel that just from, well, I mean, those parts are the parts where the sun don't shine, right? And we know how important sunlight actually is. And there are actually people who can live off the light of the sun, that they don't even need to eat. And so being able to have the light of the sun directly on my yoni is so healing. I could feel my whole yoni relaxing as I was receiving the light, like it was receiving warmth and energy and permission to take up space.
Mm-hmm. Especially after so many people are conditioned to hide, like don't, like not allowed to be seen.
Yeah.
Shame.
So there's so many different layers to this. There's that spiritual aspect of receiving the light of the sun, right? The energetic aspect of like the nourishment of the sun, and the psychological aspect that you mentioned of having so much conditioning around our yonis, so much conditioning around like how we should behave, how we should look, or like shame around what that part even is. Like some people, I know for me, I never had any talk with my mom about my period, like she was just like, it was very like hush hush, and we would say like, oh, that thing's here. We literally say that thing is here. We wouldn't even like, she didn't teach me how to use a pad, she didn't teach me how to use a tampon. Like I had to figure all of that stuff out on my own, and that 1 year of sex education that we had in school. So very limited, and also a lot of shame around sex as well.
Mm-hmm.
And a part of my birth story is that my parents like had sex without a condom by accident. And so I was a mistake. And I could feel that my mom, never really wanted me. Well, she even told me like I was a mistake growing up and all of these things. And so much shame around sexuality. Like I could feel that she regretted having sex without a condom, because then she got pregnant with me and she never wanted more than 2 children. I'm the third. So much shame around sexuality encoded into my story. And working through all of that as part of my, I've also had sexual trauma, like growing up as a little kid, and then like that leading into even being raped at a certain point and things like that, and so much shame around my sexuality. And so that moment was honestly such a liberating, healing moment for me, being able to just be like, okay, I love you, Yoni. You deserve some sun. Let's get you some nice, juicy sun energy, get some warmth, let you be seen. And doing it in front of you women was such an honor, because even though it was our first time meeting, we had been in this container for months beforehand, right? And we got to know each other like pretty intimately in these containers through our vulnerabilities and our shares. And I just felt safe enough to be able to express myself in this way. So thank you for being a safe container, Annie, where I could feel free and accepted enough to just show up with my yoni exposed.
I'm so happy we were able to talk about that story. I love it. It's so inspiring. But also, like you touched a little bit on, how you were brought into this world, and how a few years ago you wouldn't have expected yourself to do something like that, or many of the things that you're doing nowadays.
Like shaving my head.
Yeah. You weren't always like that though. Like you were a self-proclaimed people pleaser, extreme people pleaser.
Yeah.
So how did you go from that to this? Like, can you take us back a little bit to when you weren't so much in your power and putting yourself out there in these ways?
Yeah. So what I have to say about being a self-proclaimed people pleaser is that I wasn't a typical people pleaser. I lived in these I lived on both spectrums. I felt like there was a part of me that was always really anxious and always really nervous and always looking for ways that people were going to reject me and wanting people to accept me, never really feeling like I belonged. I had that wound deeply ingrained in my being. My nervous system was always activated, always seeking approval, right? And then on the other hand, I had this rebellious side that was like, I don't want to listen to what anybody says. And I'm going to do all the things that they tell me not to do. And so I had these two parts battling inside of me, and it was really chaotic. Because on the one hand, on the inside, I could feel that this deep sense of not belonging and this deep desire to belong. And on the other hand, what I portrayed was this really rebellious side that did like get really angry. You know, I was really, really explosive. I had a lot of like tantrums growing up. So it seemed like I was this like rebellious, angry, mean child in some cases, but in other cases, it was like, oh, I don't know what to do. Like I'm like socially awkward. And I got bullied in school as well. So it just depended really. And what pushed me to wanting to be different was me making a choice of, now I'm going to just skim over the details because this is something I'm going to share my challenge, but me making a choice that was pleasing my mother instead of pleasing myself. And that resulted in me having deep depression. I was cutting. I wanted to like end my life. I wanted to I felt like no one cared about me. And I felt like if I was not here tomorrow, then the world would actually be a better place because of my personality and how chaotic I was. And so all of that pushed me to a place of questioning my reality. And in that, as I continued to make more choices that I thought were honoring myself, but actually were still pleasing my parents' desires for me to be successful, like studying computer science and economics, I really hit a place of, oh, wow, I have no idea what I'm doing with my life. But this high-paying job at a financial services firm is not it. That's not it. And that's when I started implementing gratitude into my life. Gratitude was the seed that pulled me out of my darkness because it started to help me see my life in a different way. Instead of seeing all the things that were bad about it, I started seeing all the things that were good about it. And it started small because I was so depressed that I couldn't think of big things that to be grateful for. But it started with things like, oh, wow, I'm grateful that I have a roof over my head. I'm grateful that I get to take a hot shower, things that I had taken for granted. And it started with simple things like that. And as I built that, then I started to really begin to attract healthier energies, happier energies, more supportive energies. And that has been like a 7-8 year long process of becoming and being where I am now.
So, where are you now? Like, I know.
Where am I now?
Yeah, where are you now? I mean, you do brave things, but yeah, what is now like for you?
Let me just turn up the brightness on so you can, is that okay? Can you see me?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Yep. So it's getting a little dark here, so I apologize for the lighting.
No, you're good. We can see you.
But well, as I mentioned, when I was really, really in that dark phase of my life, the question or the thought that pushed me to the edge was feeling like no one cared. Mm-hmm. And my full name is Care Lai. And so when I was stepping into my purpose, a lot of it was aligned with that time in my life. And I just felt that, well, I care. I care that this person or that person is alive. And I wanted to be a beacon for anyone that ever felt the way that I felt, to know that even if they feel like no one else cares about them, I care, because I am coming from this place of the perspective of the divine, that every single being, everything is perfect, exactly as it is. And we would not be here if we were not loved. So by our very existence, we are loved and we are accepted and we are whole. And so Care Lai naturally became care as I stepped into my purpose, and care became compassionate acceptance radiantly embodied. That just came through to me one day. And I was like, yes, my whole body was like, yes, this is your mission. This is your purpose. This is your practice. And I say practice because I'm human. I'm not always on all the time. And it's something that I choose to practice every single day as much as I can to continue to embody deeper and deeper layers of what it means to be compassionately accepting. Yeah. So that's where I am now. Some other things, like I'm single. Okay.
Are we calling in a human for you?
Not that right now. I'm calling in like community. That's what I'm calling in. I'm calling in my tribe. I'm at this place where I have shed the layers of toxicity. Okay. And I'm ready to start anew. I'm ready to attract the people in my life that can accept me like I deserve to be accepted. Like everyone else deserves to be accepted. And I feel that that is a very unique vibration that I am calling in, of people who truly see from that lens.
And it's different than the societal desires. Like everyone, I shouldn't say everyone, but so many people want to fit in with, the conditioning and what Hollywood or our family has put out before us, where you're saying like, no, let's strip that back and actually surrender and create a community of people where we're just accepted for who we fully are.
Yeah.
It's like a big difference in that.
Yeah.
Which can be scary. That can be scary. Like, oh, you want me to feel naked, to feel bare? So much easier to put on a mask and fit in for someone who I'm not actually deep inside.
Yeah. And that's something that I'm still learning how to do, is to show up vulnerably and be received as I am. And part of the reason why I love being a somatic coach is working with the nervous system, because it is about feeling the nervous system feel safe enough to put down those masks, because those masks are not there to harm us. They're there to help us. Part of the compassionate acceptance piece is seeing every part of us as having a positive intention. No matter what it is, every part of us has a positive intention, and so does that mask. And that mask is put there to protect us in some way. And the somatic piece is about how can we feel safe enough in our bodies, in our nervous system, so that that mask doesn't feel the need to come up. So that we can put down that mask in a safe way and show up and say, hey, this is who I am. This is me.
I love that. I'm going to let you jam for like 30 seconds on whatever your heart's feeling called to, because I need to go get my charger.
Oh, okay. I'll jam for 30 seconds. Well, hello, Annie's community. I'm so grateful to be here and to be received by all of you. And yeah, I would just love to say that if my vibration resonates with you, if what I've shared today resonates with you, then please sign up for this challenge. This is going to be so, so magical. This portal, I have been in the thick of it for the past week coming up to this portal, and Annie supported me and really clarifying why I was going through such a challenging time this past week. And so I am excited to be integrating this lesson that I will just, keep on the DL for now, integrating this lesson and really being able to transmit it in a powerful way during this challenge. So everything that you're receiving in this challenge is like the most up to date for me and real time in my experience of integrating and embodying self-acceptance. And man, it's like, I just want to add something that one of my mentors really, really instills in us is we cannot intervene in a world we cannot see. And so acceptance is really after awareness, right? First, we got to see it. And then acceptance is that piece that allows us to hold the space of what we're seeing so that we can actually create and affect change in the direction that we want. Because if we're not accepting what we're seeing and we're choosing to accept something else, or we're in denial of what is, then every choice, every thought, every action, every emotion that comes from that is going to fall because it's not grounded in something that is real because we haven't accepted it. So we're working then with something that is not tangible, it's not real. However, when we can accept what is, and that doesn't mean that we're condoning it. It doesn't mean that we're like, oh, it's okay. Acceptance is not about making it okay. Acceptance is about seeing the reality. And when we can see the reality and say, okay, what can we do now? That's when we can really create change. And that is a really critical piece of the manifestation is being able to say, okay, what is my reality? How can I move towards what I desire? Or how can I attract what I desire into my life? By working with what is going on internally or externally. If we deny that, oh, okay, we're internally feeling guilt or shame, then we will never manifest or manifesting because there'll always be some like guilt or shame around that. And that energy will repel what we're desiring.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, welcome back, Annie. Would love to ask you, what are you excited about for this challenge and the medicine of acceptance and radical self-acceptance?
Well, just kind of touching on some of the things that I've already shared is just knowing you and seeing how brave you've been and just the example that you lead. I know that you are embodied in so much of this radical self-acceptance. And like you said, sometimes you still might get the thoughts of like, are they judging me in this moment? But you still have the bravery to do it. And again, I just really admire that. And I feel like it's something that most people lack in the world. Like, I feel like the majority of us as humans, like the thing that holds us back is the fear of what other people are thinking. So I think we need more of this. And I still oftentimes do things that are scary. And I'm like, I might be judged for this. And I have all the mental chatter and chaos, but I'll still do it. But I still like get shocked in my nervous system. Even going live, Kara and I were talking earlier about how I still can go live or lead classes or lead my challenge, and I'll still feel that like nervous system activation of like, oh, so many eyes are on me. Yeah. I don't feel like I'm the best at speaking. I feel like I get scattered all the time. Like, ridiculous, like all of those things still come up in me and I still feel it. So the fact that you're just so well trained and knowledgeable in somatic healing and taking care of the nervous system, and that's something that I don't feel like the majority of humans know, I just really fully support that mission. And also I just want to stick it to the man and stick it to society and
Stick it to
and
the man.
stick it to the man, stick it to society, and encourage more people to let down their guards and show up and unmask and be themselves and go against what we're told. Like, let's bring out our inner rebels in this.
Yes, that's what's radical about it. Because like
Yeah.
society be trying to tell us how to live, how to be, how to do, and it's like, no.
Yeah.
I'm
So
gonna accept myself.
I am for that message. I've always been kind of the people pleaser rebel at the same time too, but I was always very outwardly nice to everyone. Like I didn't want to get in trouble, but I'd be sneaky and go do what I wanted to do anyway and just like hide it and not let anyone know that I was going to parties in high school and stuff like that.
You froze for a moment and your face was like, like, oh, I see that snake. I see her.
Yeah, I was much more sneaky than my parents realized.
Oh yeah, I was not good at that.
I was good at being sneaky, but then like appeared to be a little angel.
That's
I
funny.
still was half an angel. So yeah.
Yeah, and I just
That
wanted to
even
add
answer
one
your
more piece to that. What was that?
I said, did that even answer the question? What was the question?
What are you excited about? Yeah, it did,
Yeah.
a little bit. It
Yeah.
you talked about like your piece of like acceptance and people pleasing, and like you've talked so much about how you've really come into your own.
Mhm.
And so I'm really excited for you to be a part of this because Annie, wow, it has been such a pleasure to like get to know you more and get to know your light. I remember you shining so brightly in Creatrix Calling before we even became a part of the intimate container. And not gonna lie, I was a little triggered. I was like, damn, girl is so like open. How is she so like alive and present and showing up so big? Your bigness
Oh,
intimidated me, honestly.
really?
Yeah, I was intimidated. I was like, I don't know who she is, but she's showing up so much and she's so like awesome and vibrant and magnetic. I want to be like her, but I'm like also scared of her, but I'm also intimidated by her.
That's so hilarious because like any program or coaching container that I enter, even till this day, even entering into Creatrix Academy, even after doing work for years on all of this, I still tend to enter programs and my mind, the first thing it does is like, you're going to be the worst one. Like everyone else is going to go so much further. Like you're going to show up and people are going to think you're going to do well, but you're going to fail.
Wow.
Like that's honestly the thoughts that go on in my head when I enter programs. Like I'm the least qualified.
Wow. And I'm so loving you on the fact that you have those thoughts and you still show up. Like 7K, sign up, 4K actually in the group. Like, well, damn, girl, like.
I feel like this is the first program that I've done that I've set goals and surpassed them.
Oh my God. Can we give some snaps for Annie right here? Like, yes.
Yeah. So,
And that's the powerful thing about acceptance, right? It's like, even if we have those thoughts, we can fully love and accept ourselves and still show up and still make it and surpass our goals.
and it also shows that we can have an inner dialogue and people can be perceiving us completely different than the way we're assuming that they're perceiving us.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I was like, girl is powerful. I didn't even know about your YouTube channel. I didn't even know anything about you at all, but I just felt your energy and I was like, girl is big. She takes up space.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for reflecting that on me.
Yeah. And I just want to add one little tidbit that you talked about showing up live and being seen. And I just want to throw out one little statistic there that the fear of public speaking is the number one fear in the world over death. And that just goes to show how conditioned we are to be afraid to be seen, to be afraid to show up authentically as we are. So much fear, so much fear of judgment around others.
Mhm.
And I feel that that's definitely something that is more conditioned. Like thinking about it, it's like, wow, if we weren't conditioned to be so afraid of how we're received, of being accepted, then we could just show up and it would be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
That's the thing that's scary for most people. It would be different if we felt completely safe to just let anything out, like any detail out about our lives. But
Yeah.
it's like, oh, if I slip up and show the wrong thing or say the wrong thing, like everything could crumble and everyone's going to hate me and judge me and like cancel culture and all of that.
Yeah. Like if you see a tree in a forest, it doesn't go, oh my God, there's so many trees around me. I can't be a tree right now. I need to not grow.
Yeah, right?
It's actually, oh my God, trees, let's talk. Let's have a good time.
Let's all grow.
Yeah.
Together.
Yeah. And it's that false egoic concept of separation, that we are somehow separate from others, that we are somehow not lovable, that the conditioning of that we have to do something or be something more in order to be accepted, when the reality is we are already accepted.
Mm-hmm.
And so this challenge is not necessarily about me teaching you something. It's rather me supporting you and remembering something that you might have forgotten, that is already within you, that is inherently a part of who you are. So it's about releasing and shedding those layers that have made us forgotten. Is that the right English? I don't know. Made us forgotten, made us forget that this acceptance piece is already there. So sign up for this challenge. Let's go.
Yes. And also I will put out there too, I feel like I have been on a challenge speaking tour lately, honestly, for the last 2 months. Like, and I will put out there, this is the last challenge I'm going to be speaking at in a very long time. Like I have nothing after this too. So I'm not going to be having more free challenges to share about for a while. So if you want to get in on this last one, then sign up and join us.
Yes, 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 yes.
And is this for everyone?
This is for all women. And I say woman as in WOMBYN. And that is because I have been doing so much womb work and myself that I just feel a deep resonance with all womb keepers. And there is this paradigm shift of how to be in tune with our wombs rather than the masculine structure of 9 to 5, showing up every day, have to do X, Y, and Z, because we are not the sun. We are the feminine and we go through the different phases. So that's where I'm really, really aligned to work with womb keepers.
Love it. Well, is there any last piece of advice, wisdom, things that want to come through you?
Man, I think that last one was like the cherry on top. I'm like, you are already whole, you are already accepted, you are already loved, you are already cherished by the divine, because you are divine within yourself.
So join the challenge. And also, where can they find you?
Yes, so I have an Instagram. My Instagram is at Careful Soul. So that's CareFullSoul. It's a little bit of play on words. Like careful, but it's actually careful because I'm full.
Full of care.
Yes, and I'm full of soul, baby.
And also, if you guys are following me on Instagram and you go to my stories, I have her linked in my stories too, so you can find her easily there.
Yes. And where is the link for the challenge in your field, Annie?
So if you are on YouTube right now, but if you're on a desktop, down below, there is the description. If you just go down to the description, it's linked under there. And if you are on a phone watching this on YouTube, let me double check just so I'm telling you the correct directions. So if you click right below the title, it'll say more, or just even click around the title, and then the description will drop down and the link will be right there. And I'll also link it in the comments too, so it'll be even more easy access. So we'll make this easy on you. And if you're watching live or if you're watching the replay, please give this video a thumbs up, share it if you resonated with anything that Care or I shared during this, and leave us a comment down below and let us know what resonated with you.
Yes, would love to hear. Would love to hear. And one more thing, actually, before we sign off, just wanted to add this little piece of where I feel passionate about serving, or who. So I specifically support Asian and allied women. I'm a second generation Taiwanese American. And so if you got any Asian and allied friends out there, share this with them, because my people need this.
Yeah,
Really need this right
generational
now.
healing.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Mwah. So much love to you, Annie, and everyone who's been watching this. Thank you for staying all the way to the end.
Yes.
If you have, and just appreciate you so much.
Thank you. And thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you all later.
I'll see you all. Bye.
Bye.